What's going on, guys? So I'm here in the shop and I was looking at the huge variety of hitches that I have. I think I have every version of WaySafe hitch that they offer. I have the Arrow over here, which is super cool. Steel, has a scale built into the side of it. Very, very compact. I have the standard WaySafe steel with the scale built in. You can see that thing's had a tremendous amount of use. I have shanks for both 2-inch, 2.5-inch, as well as another 2-inch shank with an actual aluminum WaySafe hitch on it. I got all sorts of products from WaySafe. I have products from Bulletproof. I have 2 Bulletproof hitches, one for a 2-inch, one for a 2.5-inch. This thing is rated at 36,000 pounds with 6,000 pounds worth of tongue weight capacity. I've gotten a ton of use out of that one as well. I have a Gen Y over here on a 2-inch shank. I think this one's rated for like 16,000 pound capacity. Also absolutely phenomenal product, super heavy, a lot of hitches, including some on the other rack. So over here I have a WaySafe goose ball, which is super cool, has a scale built in. I don't use that very often, only because it sits up so high off of the bed. Anytime I use it, I'm going to be nose high with my trailer. It's great for checking what your weight is, but if you're trying to do it while level, it's going to be a problem because, again, how high it sits off the bed of the truck. I have a B&W tow and stow on a 3-inch shank right here, tri-ball. I also have another B&W tow and stow tri-ball on a 2-inch shank over here. I have a Blue Ox right here, which is very similar to the Kurt hitch, and I think that's a licensing thing, but lots of hitches. So recently I threw my back out. So I still got to tow trailers, I still got to move around, and sometimes I have to take a hitch in and out. So I've opted to go to the lightest, heaviest, dutiest hitch I have. What does that mean? That means I now have the WaySafe 180 aluminum hitch back in the back of my truck. Now I say back in the back of my truck, even though I've never actually had this one on my truck. I had the 3-inch shank, so this is a shank I've had for a long time. I've had this ever since I think WaySafe introduced the 3-inch shank. And I've had the scale version of the WaySafe hitch, but I've had this 180 aluminum hitch head for a while, and it fits right onto the 3-inch shank that I have. 21,000 pounds worth of towing capacity, 2,100 pounds worth of hitch weight capacity, and this entire assembly weighs like 20 pounds or less. It is very, very lightweight compared to anything else out on the market that has a similar capacity rating to it. So we went ahead and threw this back on the truck just so I have the ability to get it in and out of the truck without having to struggle at all. Pulling the Gen Y out, I'm pulling out 60 pounds worth of hitch. Pulling the WaySafe Steel 180 Pro, which is the steel version of this that has a little receiver on the back, I'm still in the 35-pound range. So you're talking about a pretty good chunk of metal having to remove and put back in. This thing right here, I think it actually weighs closer to like 15 pounds. It's very, very lightweight, and it gives you a tremendous amount of capability, and it fills the 3-inch hole on the back of my Ford Super Duty very, very well. Again, only Ford Super Duty offers a 3-inch receiver on the back of their truck. If you don't believe me, go out and measure yours and you will find out that it is a 2.5-inch receiver if it's Ram and a 2.5-inch receiver if it's General Motors, Chevy or GMC 3/4 ton, 1-ton trucks. That said, it's nice having this back here. It looks really, really good. That's one thing I probably haven't focused on enough. I always talk about the functionality of these things, but I know a lot of people don't buy things just because of its function. They also want the form to look nice, and I think this is probably one of the most attractive looking 2-ball hitches you can put on the back of your vehicle. Again, fits into that 3-inch receiver opening very, very well. Lightweight, it's going to give me the capability of pulling it out, putting it back in with much less struggle than I have with the other ones. It's not like I have a tremendous amount of struggle, but you all know what I mean. When you're removing heavy hitches from the back of your vehicle, it's not fun, and this is definitely something that makes it a little bit easier, especially if you have a back that's occasionally susceptible to going out on you. That said, we're going to be running this one for a while. I can tell you the installation process of it, how lightweight it was, absolutely is game-changing, especially because I just removed the Gen Y hitch from the back. Again, 60 plus pounds. I had this one sitting next to it. I threw this one in, and it was a world of difference. It was like I was putting in a far lower capacity hitch, even though it is a far lower capacity hitch. But still, at 21,000 pounds worth of towing capacity, 2,100 pounds worth of hitch weight, don't think I'm going to be overstressing this thing out with anything I'm going to be towing. But just wanted to share that update with y'all. So I'm going to tell you that I have used a lot of TPMS systems. I've used the TST system, I've used the Tire Minder system, and I've used the Lippert system, as well as some generic systems I got for super cheap off of Amazon for vehicles that just needed a cheap system in it. I use Tire Minder on my F450 for the truck itself. I use TST on the Surveyor, and I use the Lippert system on the Brookstone. And I can tell you without any doubt at all that the easiest system to set up, especially if you have to replace a component, is the Lippert One Control System, or a Tire Link. I'm sorry, Tire Link is part of the One Control System. I am not kidding you. You sync it to your phone, and the nice thing about it is, like for instance, we had a problem with the Tire Link brain that plugs in if your RV's already prepped for it, and I removed it. I really went through all the steps to diagnose what was wrong with it, but it didn't light up. The little blinking light that lets you know that the system's working was not working, so I purchased another one. I didn't need to go to a sponsor or anything like that. Bought the system, plugged in the new brain, it lit up immediately, and you literally go through, replace the old one. You hit one button, it looks for anything that's no longer syncing to your vehicle. I replaced it, and then it walks you through the entire step. You pick what type of trailer it is. I put fifth wheel. You pick if it's 2 or 3 axle. I pick 2 axle. Then you simply go to the tire. I took these are the sensors that have been on here. I simply removed the sensor, put the sensor back on when I've indicated what tire I'm at, and it works. And I can just honestly tell you, I can't tell you about longevity of the entire system because the brain did die. So the main brain of it did fail. I don't know what the heck's wrong with it. I checked wiring and everything. It was all correct, but it just wouldn't power on. The new brain plugged right into the docking mount and it worked perfectly. But let me show you what I'm doing here. I've done basically 3 tire positions. I'm about to do the last one, which is right here. So first step is I'm going to remove the tire cover. I'm going to remove the sensor that's currently on here. This tire's got a lot of pressure in them. I'm going to click the tire position, hit continue, and I'll show you what's going on here. It's going to say pairing. It should just take a second. Check it out. I mean, super simple. Takes no time at all, and it's so intuitively easy. I'm not going through tons of menus or things like that. Super simple, not having to go through any complex menus, anything like that. It's just, it works very intuitively because it's on the phone. I don't have to have an additional display whenever I'm using this, which is really nice. And I can literally just pull up to the side of the trailer and check what the pressure is. So yeah, I've been very happy with the Tire Link system. Not so happy that the system failed me before my last trip, but I ordered another one and I was able to get it hooked up. So now I can see what my tire pressure is again. Again, not a sponsored video. It came with 4 additional sensors, so now I have 4 new sensors and batteries in case I need to replace these for whatever reason. It was plug and play. I simply unplugged the old one, plugged the new one in. Took literally 3 seconds. Came out here. I'm done with the entire thing in less than 5 minutes. And I know most folks who use tire pressure monitoring, they get complex, especially when you're not hitched up to your trailer and you need to remove those sensors from your screen when you're not towing. And I love the fact that with this system, because it's on my phone, I monitor my trailer independently of the system I have in my truck, and I'm able to see it all from my phone in real time, which is really nice. Anyways, just wanted to share that. A lot of people ask me what my opinion is on TPMS systems, which one I think is the best. I like them all. I like the longevity of the Tire Minder system. They just never fails. It's a great system, other than replacing batteries every year and a half. It's a great system, works well in the truck. The TST has been working really well on the Surveyor. I just keep the system in the Surveyor until we need to use it, then I take it to the truck. And the Tire Link system from Lippert has worked really well for us as well. So just happier with the Lippert system in terms of replacing parts and getting it set up. Super easy to do, super easy to work with, and that's a huge plus for me. Anyways, guys, sure hope you enjoyed the video. I'm in the process of just getting the RV broken down, getting everything removed from it, and putting it all in the truck so I can take it back to the house. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel. I'll throw a link in the description of this video. Channel sponsor etrailer.com carries all of this stuff. Again, they didn't provide it to me, but you know, they do sponsor my channel, and they're a great sponsor. And if you're looking for a good TPMS system, they carry all of them. They carry all the brands I mentioned, plus like 10 more. And I can tell you from an RV perspective, I do like the Tire Link system. We'll talk to you again very soon.